Look at this FPL team right here and try and guess the overall rank. Go on. Wrong. Because this team right here, this amazing, glorious team, is still at 9.7 millionth in the world. Now that is a big...
I like it.
I might as well rename my FPL team Chelsea, because we have all the best players and we still can't even beat the bottom of the league. So that is, again, I like it. But do you know what else is wrong? The fact that this podcast, I say, all right, I'm going to be, you know, tactical bacon and give a nice good review of all the games and actually provide some insight. Imagine that. So we're going to actually stick to that this time, and I'm going to be really concise and not chat shite for like half an hour, okay? Okay, ready for this. Man City Palace. De Bruyne. Good. Kevin De Bruyne. That's it, really. Ha ha ha. Aston Villa being their own villains. Brentford buzzed back, but Villa still got a draw. So, fair play. The Sean Dyche derby. Oh, hi guys, it's Everton vs Burnley here. I'm the centre of attention. And somehow, when you make DCL look like an actual good striker again, that's when you know it's time to say bye to Burnley. If you ask me about Burnley, I say Burnley can fuck off. And to be fair, they might as well F off out the league, because what are they even still doing here? Like, come on, put them out of their misery. If this was a pet, we would, but yeah. Fulham, Newcastle. I mean, Fulham beach FC, really, aren't they? Like, they just don't care anymore. Just give up. And then Newcastle, I mean, Bruno G, top scorer. You know, best FPL asset, right? No, you got Gordon, you got Harvey Barnes, you got Isak. Not Bruno G. He's the G. Luton Bournemouth. Luton won't go down without the fight, will they? I mean, the fact that Morris is outscoring, like, you know, the likes of, I was going to say Watkins, but we'll get to that. That's a big unlucky, innit? The fact that Morris is outscoring the likes of not even Chris Wood. All the forwards scored, right? But Morris also scored. He outscored the likes of Solanke in this game. So that was unlucky for them. Wolves, West Ham. I mean, if ever there was an advert or some propaganda of why we shouldn't have VAR, this was literally the perfect display for that. Because, yeah, what are they even doing? If you don't know, you don't know. Leave it that way. Don't find out, because it was seriously that bad. Arsenal, yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they? You know, players like Saka could get all the points, but players like Havertz get even more points. So when you got King Kai, things just happen, innit? And are they going to win the league? It might just happen. And then today, Man United, Liverpool, right? The script writers were on form today. They were like, how can we make Man United fans still be disappointed? And how can we make Liverpool fans still be happy, but then both teams not get anything out of this game in the end? Like, what? Man United, out of nothing, their first shot was from the halfway line, and then they scored. Okay. And then Liverpool got a penalty when the player didn't even touch him. He was literally about this far away. I was bloody closer to fouling Elliott than Wan-Bissaka, and I'm bloody in a different country, so there we are. But, you know, Klopp's last season, he has to get every decision going his way, doesn't it? So, but the game didn't go his way, but in the end, you know, still get points for the Diaz and Salah, so lovely stuff if you own them. Just like me, hey. Sheffield United, Chelsea. Do you know that Mick McCarthy meme where it's like, it can't get worse than this, can it? And then he just silent for 2 seconds. He goes, it can get worse. How do they every single week? Like, you could have ended their season halfway through and you're like, right, that is surely the biggest failure of a club ever. Spending £1 billion mid-table. It cannot get worse than this. They bottled a win against 19th place when they had a red card, and now they've bottled a win against 20th in the league. If it wasn't for Cole Palmer being so cold, then they would be bloody freezing. Because, honestly, I have no words. The £1 billion bottle jobs. Can we relegate them instead of like a Luton or something? Like, Luton are a lot more entertaining than these guys. It's literally Cole Palmer or nothing. And then what else was nothing was this for me, because, oh look, a Spurs fullback scores. Oh look, a Spurs midfielder gets an assist. I'm so glad I have a Spurs defender, a fullback, and a Spurs midfielder. Wrong one. So I like it. And there you go. That's Bacon Boys review. And I managed to do it in 5 minutes. Round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've provided my 1% of FPL information. And you know what? I'm about to break all expectations and actually continue giving some sort of good insight and knowledge. What is happening? What is happening? Where if we look here at the amazing FPL.team, we can see the upcoming double game weeks. Now, I'm not a cheeky scrub and an absolute FPL virgin anymore, and I'm not bloody studying the bloody fixtures and the double game weeks, the blank game weeks, like my life depends on it. I swear, like, if you paid people to invest this much time into anything, most people would be like, I'm not sure. Bring FPL fixtures and double game weeks under the thing, and you literally have thousands of geezers researching, spending so much time on this. And it's like, come on, you're spending all this time to get bloody net or from Bournemouth in goals. Like, come on, lads. No. But anyway, I could do that. To be fair, I got banana. But anyway, my team so far next week looks like this, which also looks like this. So that is actually pretty sexy, right? We've got all the good players. We've got Haaland. We've got Darwin Núñez, and the best goal scorer in the league right now, not Haaland, Havertz. So, you know, I'm happy about that. Now, there's one geezer that's not performing in my team, Maddison. He is making me mad, son, because not only is he not getting any returns, but he's also getting subbed off early as well. So maybe I'll transfer him out early, because to be fair, he does blank in game week 34, so he is a blanker and a wanker, so let's get him out. But who could we get in for him? So we have Arsenal that's got a double game week next week, Bournemouth, Palace, Everton, Liverpool, and Sheffield United, and Wolves. Now, let's ignore the teams that are bad, because why we get... goes back to my new FPL strategy. Don't get in bad players just because they have double game week. You still want good players, okay? And that is why I'm going for McNeil. No, pranked. Okay, so Arsenal double game week. I've already got triple Arsenal. I'm not going to faff about switching some out and getting some in, because I'll probably just end up transferring one out and he goes and scores their first hat-trick of the season, because that's just what happens. So Arsenal is off limits for me. Bournemouth, I mean, it's not a bad double game week, but Man United this week, to be fair, Man United is probably better fixture for them than this double, but it's 2 away games and it's still Bournemouth, you know. They're very close to on the Bournemouth beach, because they don't really need to care about the rest of the season, do they? We've got Palace, but then the only other team than the other teams that play at home. I just said nothing. Congratulations. But they also play Liverpool, so it's a bit like, eh. Everton have better because they got 2 home games, and then they play Chelsea this week, but then they got Liverpool in there, so it's like, eh. Liverpool are very good, but I've already got 3 players in Bradley, Salah, and Darwin Núñez. Sheffield United, no thanks, and Wolves, maybe, but they play Arsenal, so maybe not. So essentially, the only double game week players that I'm fancying is bloody no one. So, maybe instead of getting Maddison out for a random doubler that's probably not going to get any points, because let's be realistic, bad players are still bad players, even in a double, I could get in someone like a Phil Foden. And he could fill up my FPL team with all the extra points, because not only is he good, and, you know, he's kind of like one of the highest scoring FPL players this season, but he also plays Luton, which... that alone could be a high-scoring game from him, outscoring all of the other double game week players. When he then plays Brighton, problem. Bit of an unlucky. Champions League. Why does it have to happen? If it was only the league, this would be 100% my move. I would do it now. I don't care that there's bloody a week away. I don't care that I could have a whole holiday in between the next FPL deadline. No. Unfortunately, Champions League means a Luton game in between playing Real Madrid is probably not a game that Phil Foden's even going to play, never mind get good minutes. So I don't know about that. So if we take that into fact and we don't get in players like from the likes of Arsenal, Man City, and that's pretty much it, because Newcastle, Man United... Side note, Newcastle and Man United were in the Champions League this season. Look at their seasons. How has that happened? That deserves another... I mean, to be fair, we could have a better job bloody Spursy going in, because when you got players like Richarlison, you could just do this, can you? So, but, you know, even with Champions League, maybe other players are still good in FPL. Like, all right, I just wanted to use my overlays. Leave me alone. But anyway, the only players that I would be considering for this double game week then is Eze. Literally just Eze. Or the fact that Man City players might not play against Luton, and then they do still have good fixtures after and a double later on. Maybe it could be... Maybe it's not Foden. Maybe it's not Eze. Maybe it is actually Bob. You know, Bob. Oscar Bob. 0.1% owned. Probably himself, his mum, and I bet you his nan would probably rather Foden. But, you know, it's fine. Because Oscar Bob could be the geezer. I mean, probably not. But again, I'm 9.7 millionth in the world. I might as well have a laugh, right? If not, we've got Eze. So if we were to go over to the FPL team and show you this amazing transfer plan. If we did get Bob, you know, Bob, that would be the team this week. So, you know, I'd probably captain him as well for the memes, innit? You might not even play. Oh, well. And then next week, we have all of the doublers. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. The only single game week players I would have is Garnacho, Palmer, Haaland, and Bob. That's pretty damn good to me. But if I were to get in an Eze, maybe an Eze decision in the end, if I get out Bob and get an Eze, I'll probably play him this week. I probably won't captain him, though. But then who else would I captain? Because, again, Champions League, probably a Salah. And then next week, we've got more double game week players. And to be fair, he's not a terrible player to keep for the rest of the season if I have to. So maybe that's the one. But maybe it's Bob. When Bob comes calling, Bob comes knocking because he's going to Bobby knock my team. There we are. So essentially, double game week. That's my useful FPL information. I've got 2 free transfers, so I'm going to probably use 1 and then 2 next week. Or maybe none next week because, look, I'll have the team sorted and ready, so I don't even need 2. But there we are. But yeah, the last thing I wanted to chinwag about was FPL Challenge. I mean, I do not need to show my team this week because it was a bit of a disaster and we'll move on. But we've got the best ever FPL Challenge this week on sportsmanship. Out of all, you know, all of these different challenges they could have done, so many different ways to be creative and just make people want to play FPL or this new FPL Challenge mode. And they do this. Red cards -8, yellow cards -5. Now, I understand from, like, a PR perspective, you know, you kind of, like, you're trying to teach people the FPL ways and, like, this is a good way, but, like, you know, have some sportsmanship, which isn't a terrible thing. But this is the most woke FPL has ever been, and the fact that a fantasy game is considered woke, that's when you know you're going in the wrong direction. Anyway, because this is such a great FPL challenge, I'm doing my own challenge within this challenge, where because red cards are worth -8 and yellow cards are -5, I'm going for an FPL record. An FPL record are the most minus points in a team. That is right. I have chose a team, a complete FPL challenge team, that will hopefully get the most minus points by getting the most red cards and the most yellow cards. Now, this team literally has combined over 100 yellow cards. I haven't checked the maths, but it sounds right. The fact that the team is literally a red arrow already pointing, reverse Christmas tree, already shows this team going down. You could enter this team in as a fresh team, and FPL would literally not even let you save it because, like, no, mate, you can't get that many minus points. Our servers will crash. That's the way it's going to go. So, João Paulino's got, like, 12 yellow cards. He's got to be captain, right? The most yellow cards out of anybody. Get him in. And then we also have players like Basumo who's had red cards. Other players have probably had red cards. We've got defenders that will hopefully also get the minus points in a triple loot done against Man City. We've got a Ward in for some balance and double Sheffield United conceding all the goals. Hopefully some will get yellows and reds. It would be hilarious if, like, Paulinho got a red card and a couple of the others got a yellow card and I literally got -50 points. I think that would be pretty lucky. But yeah, that is the FPL challenge. Don't play it properly because this is a crap challenge. Play it like this. This is the way to go. And that's that. So thanks for watching my terrible knee-jerk and whatever the fuck this content is. But just a bit of fun in it. X vibes go. Brr! And also, bye.
Don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe to Nathan Bacon right now. Don't let your memes be dreams.